Your Creative Push, Episode 9.
Once you start the ball rolling, the universe goes, oh, God, finally he's doing it. Let's give him some more.
Hey there, Youngman Brown here. Just wanted to say hello and let you know that this is part 2 of my interview with Angela Treat Lyon. Part 1 aired yesterday, and if you missed it, you can check it out by just going back in time on your podcast player or go to yourcreativepush.com/8. That being said, hope you enjoy the rest of my conversation with Angela as much as I did. Here we go. I like your word hesitation too, as a different word for resistance, because hesitation implies that it's something that is inevitable for you. You're just hesitating to do it. And I think that when you have this thing in your brain that's telling you to do whatever creative thing, whatever art it is, it's something you have to do. So if you don't do it, like you said, if you find yourself swinging off of a sailboat, you might feel the same way you felt, where, maybe I haven't completed everything that I'm supposed to complete. And I think that once you get this thing in your brain that kind of urges you to do art, it's kind of like a disease. It's like you're not a disease, but you're stuck with it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And it's really up to you to actually push yourself to do it.
You're absolutely right about that. I wrote an article one time that was called "I Am So Addicted."
I'm so addicted.
Because I can't not do it.
Sure.
It's just not part of my being to not do my call, and that's why I call it a calling, because it's bigger than I am. But I want to say something about this that's really important, and that is that if somebody is afraid, they just have to hunker down and do it anyway. And the way to do that, it's like saying, well, you need to do it anyway, and, get the whip out. It's not like that at all. What you do is you sit down and you write out why you're not doing it. Well, I got a job, I got to support my family, I'm scared. What if I don't do it right? Write down all of those things. And then take another sheet of paper and you write down 3 teeny weeny nano steps that you can take right now, right this second, in order to start doing it. Because once you start the ball rolling, the universe goes, oh, God, finally he's doing it. Let's give him some more. But you take those teeny weeny steps because you don't want to be tripping up a 6-foot wall, which is your first step. You just want to be raising your foot 6 inches. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And, it actually applies to just this podcast. For whatever reason, I decided I wanted to make a podcast because I couldn't find one that was daily that, would inspire me to do art. So I was like, oh, I guess I have to do it then.
Yeah.
And once that was in my head, I knew that I would regret it, and I didn't want to push it off because that Words Plus Music, the music videos that I make, I pushed that off for like 2 years because I was so afraid. And then once I finally finished, I was like, and then I just made another. I was terrified my first interview. I was very scared, and I probably wasn't the best interviewer, and it only took like 2 or 3, and I am addicted to it now. I love the conversations, and I can't wait to do it. And of course, there's a little bit of always have nervousness talking to like successful and wonderful people. But yeah, once you get the ball rolling, as you said, it's crazy how you're right, the universe does kind of like make things happen for you.
And the craziness about being nervous, it's just energy. It's the same energy that you call excitement.
Yeah. But
you're just calling it fear. And so if you're nervous about something, there's 2 questions to ask. One is this my energy? Is this my fear? Because the person you're interviewing might be nervous too. So you're feeling them. Or the other question is, if this was excitement, how would I act then? So those 2 questions get you off of the fear and into a new sphere of being. That's what life is all about. It's about being. It's not about doing. It's not about having. It's about being. And so if you're being excited, that's going to radiate out into the universe, and you can attract so many awesome people with that. Just by, when you walk down the street and you're feeling really good about yourself, you radiate that. And you may not even know it, but 10 feet away from you, maybe there's somebody who's depressed and they look at you and go, wow, look at him. I wish I had what he has.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's so cool about the vibratory nature of the universe is we radiate how we feel, and we attract things to us through that vibration. So, when you say, I did 2 interviews and I was hooked, that's why you got hooked on that excitement. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. And my wife even said, that, oh, you're really happy because my job, I deal poker, so I agree that you pick up with vibrational frequencies or whatever you want to call it. So I deal to somewhat miserable people all day long,
Oh my God.
and you start to pick up on you can't help but like start to kind of feel miserable as well. And I always try not to bring it home with me, but. Yeah, I mean, doing this is, my calling, I feel. So once you kind of tap into that and start doing it, then it's amazing how it changes kind of everything. And one other thing I wanted to say about the nervousness part is that I think nervousness is a good thing too, because it makes you know that what you're doing is important. And if you're nervous about something, that I think is a huge sign that that's something that you should be doing,
Mm.
because it's like your body's like kind of preparing for it. So if you just use nervousness as an excuse to not do it, I think you're doing a disservice to nervousness, I guess I should say nervousness, because it's your body telling you that, oh, all right, let's go, let's do it.
Oh, I think that's a really awesome point. I'm really glad you said that. And it fits right in with what I said about it being excitement. Whew, boy, awesome.
Woo!
Have you have you thought about taking a new vibration into your card dealing?
So I've been doing it for 5 years now, and I played for like 3 years before that. So I've been in this industry for a long time, and as a player, I became miserable too. And then once I started dealing, I kind of had more of a positive outlook. I'm like, all right, now I'm on this side of the table. I'm not winning or losing. I'm always kind of making money, but it's just one of those things. I don't know if I should necessarily say that it's because of the job itself, the actual poker. Maybe it's just a job in general. Yeah, I always try to, in life, just try to be, if people give me a negative feedback, I try to like be as positive as possible. Even if it's like a battle tactic almost, to like, oh, you're going to give me negative energy? Have a nice day, sir.
Well, I ask because I feel like everything we do in our life is art.
Hmm.
I mean, it's kind of contradictory to what I said earlier as to doing art as our tracks, but even the way you brush your teeth or the way you fry your egg in the morning or the way you drive your car, if you made that into an art form where you just simply did it with as much joy and consciousness as you could, I think you could change everything around you. What would happen if it, like, I don't know what the rules are for being a dealer. Do you have to keep a straight face and be real serious, or can you just be jokey and fun? How do you have to be?
Well, it's a fine line, because with poker especially, with other table games like blackjack and roulette, you're playing against the house, so you're kind of playing against the dealer. With poker, I'm just the dealer, and we take a small rake from each pot, but it's the players playing against each other.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you can't be like, oh, nice hand, like, oh, great job, blah blah blah, because for every winner there's a loser in the hand, so it's the players taking each other's money. Now, for as far as like my attitude, yeah, some players like a jokey dealer like that's talking all the time. Some just want the dealer to shut up and deal. Sometimes they tell you that they're like, just shut up and deal,
Interesting.
because they just want to concentrate. They don't want to have a conversation with the dealer be taking from their concentration on the hand.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
Hmm. Interesting. I would never have thought you were a dealer. I don't know why I would have even thought you were.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, Angela, what is your formula for balancing your time? Because you do a lot.
Well, I don't have a formula other than to ask what's next.
What's next?
I stopped having plans a long time ago because, like they say have a business plan or a marketing plan or whatever. And I finally decided that I was going to stop doing that because every time I put one together, I would fail at it. Like Tuesday, you're supposed to do X. Well, Tuesday, I'd come along and I'd go, well, I want to carve today. And I would have this huge conflict. Well, but I'm supposed to be on Facebook marketing or, whatever it was. I just said, okay, screw it. Spirit, the source rules my life. So if I get into something and I get into trouble, I just say, source, you got me into this, get me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise I'm going to quit. And you made me be here to do this work. If I can't do the work, what the hell? Why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I've said that, I've gotten out of whatever trouble it was. So I really trust Spirit to guide me, and I just be quiet and set my feelings aside for a minute because I can be really roiled up sometimes, upset, God, I'm not making enough money this month, or somebody just ripped me off, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to center in on that flame in the middle of my being, in the middle of my body, and just feel my breath coming in and out, and ask Spirit or Source or God or the Lord or whatever you call it. I said, okay, what's next for me? Because Source knows why I'm here. I really don't know for sure. It's my conjecture that I'm here to express it in some way through what I do. And I've chosen carving because it lasts longer than anything else in the art world.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. There's something about it that it makes my cells sing when I carve. It's just the most amazing feeling. And so I center myself on that. And I say, okay, you know why I'm here. You know what has to be done. Tell me what's next. And I'll be quiet and I'll just wait. Sometimes it doesn't come right away, but I'll get it later on in the flash. And I go, oh, duh. Okay, I can do that. So you just have to train yourself to be quiet and listen and just ask, what's next? And if you're a plan kind of person and you can carry out plans, make a plan. You don't have to be like me, for heaven's sakes. But I just go, well, let's do this right now because this looks like fun. And after 15 minutes of it, my body will go, I want to sit down now. So I'll go sit down and I'll get into something else. I just kind of flit from one thing to the next to the next. I'm probably not a very good example for people to follow because I live alone. I've been long divorced. My kids are grown up and gone away. All I have is me, so I don't have any distractions. So I can go from thing to thing to thing. Unless I'm really, really zeroed in on something. Like, for instance, when I first started doing the coloring books, I really got into it. I did over 1,000 drawings in 2 months.
Oh my God.
And it was just boom, 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 boom. I was given all these ideas and I just had to sit there and draw them out. Mm-hmm. And then plop them into books and get them out on Amazon. It was an amazing, it was like a high. A 2-month high. I produced 8 books in 2 months.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. But I didn't eat or sleep during that time either. So that's insane.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your coloring books? And I think that you mentioned that there might be a little surprise about that.
Oh, absolutely. The coloring books came to me just kind of out of the blue. I belong to a creators Facebook group, and the guy who runs it, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. His name is Tony Ladig, Laidig, and he runs this weekly free teleclass or webinar called the Expert Media Series. It's fabulous. He teaches you how to do all kinds of things, from how to create Kindle books to tweak photographs to all this stuff. It's just amazing, all of which you can use to make money. So if you go join any Facebook or any group at all, look up Tony Ladig's Expert Media System because you can learn really a lot from him. So I was on one of his calls and he was talking about making coloring books, and I'm thinking, right, coloring books, and I almost hung up, but I didn't, thank goodness, because he showed us how to do coloring books for adults and why to do them. It's a huge craze right now, and people are making lots of money making these coloring books. So I thought, well, I'm not going to take photographs from the public domain and tweak them. I can draw my own.
Mm.
So that's when I asked Spirit, I said, what's next? How do I do this? And use my own designs and make these coloring books. And this huge, I mean, enormous waterfall of ideas came through. And I just sat there drawing and drawing and drawing. And the reason I like it so much is because my drawings are completely unique. They're not machine generated like a lot of the mandalas are that other people are doing. And I thought, even if I don't put them in coloring books, these are still wonderful drawings. They're funny, they're unique, they're silly. Give me something silly any day, and I'll just take it any time. Like my silly elephants, I call them olifants. So
it's cute.
I just love doing them, and I just got into this space of being in love. That was the best part of that whole series, is being in love. But people are really getting into coloring books because when you sit down to color, it's like meditation. You have to be quiet to listen and see inside, what color am I going to put here? Why would I put purple there? Let's put turquoise there. And it takes you out of the stress of the daily world. That's the whole point of them. And it reconnects you to that quiet part of you that's always there. It's always eternal and it's always perfect. That's the cool thing about these things. So the thing that I wanted to share with people is you can get some freebie coloring pages at my website, coloringbookqueen, QUEEN.com. Just look for the tab on the top that says goodies, because there's some free goodies there. I think there's a free book and there's a bunch of free coloring pages. You can download them and print them out and get to coloring immediately. Even if you're only using your ballpoint pen for shading, just start doing it.
Awesome. Thank you. Free stuff.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Can't complain about free stuff. And I think that's really cool. Like, I found that when I'm doodling or even writing, or painting, which I very rarely do, but sometimes, I feel like just the act of kind of moving your hand and that clears up your brain to all kinds of creative thoughts. So if you have like writer's block or any kind of blocks, I think it's good to just doodle.
Absolutely.
Or color.
Absolutely. And learn how to use EFT, because all any block is jammed energy, and EFT will help you unjam your energy.
And where can the listeners find out more about EFT?
Go to EFTbooks, plural, BOOKS.com. I've got my basics book on sale right now. And the other website is EFTineveryhome.com, where you can go through a free online demo. I take you through it step by step of how to use it. Very simple, and you'll love it. It's just it's just such a dynamic system. You tap on these points and you say certain phrases, and all of a sudden you go, oh, wow, I feel so much better. And sometimes you don't even remember what you were upset about.
That's great. Those are some great resources to check out. Can't hurt to try.
Good.
All right. I just looked at the clock, and I can't believe we've been talking for this long. It's flown by. It's been a wonderful talk, but I wanted to get into what we call the final push. And that's where I ask you to reach through the microphone and grab somebody that you've really inspired already today and just give them that final push, even though you've pushed them already today, but just give them that final push into taking action with their creative ideas.
I'll get out my hobnail boots.
You don't have to go that far.
Well, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. There's two things. One is, what are you going to be really ticked off at yourself for not doing if you died right now? Mm-hmm. So ask yourself that. And if it's, oh gosh, I really want to paint. Oh, but I have to go to my job. Damn it. Take that half hour in the day and do it. Just simply do it. And if you say, I don't have any money, I'm going to come spank you, because it's not about money. If you're a painter and you can't paint, start using pens on paper. There's lots of paper everywhere. Grab a napkin and use your pen. Do something. do anything but just get the energy moving in that direction, because the universe will support you. So just get out there and start. Make a list of little bitty things. Like I said, make a phone call to somebody and have them yell at you, or take a nap. Sometimes you just need to take a nap. It can be just the smallest thing will get you going, but do it. Make the commitment and just start doing it. And if you need help with it, go to EFT and everyhome.com and go through that tapping little exercise. And instead of saying I'm angry, which is what the exercise is about, say, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Or I'm stuck. Whatever it is that you're feeling, express it. Express means to push out. X means out. Press means press. So express it and get it out of your system, and then say, all right, I'm going to commit myself to my work because this is what I'm here for. Because if you don't do it, I guarantee you that when you die, you're going to be really ticked off.
Perfect point to end.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show. I've really enjoyed it and had a lot of places where I could really talk about what's really important to me. So I really appreciate that.
Great, and I do feel like it's not quite done, this conversation yet. So I'd love to have you on again sometime.
Oh, goody! Yeah,
this has been a great conversation. For anyone who wants more information about Angela, you can go to her website, which is AngelaTreatLyonArt.com. You can go to coloringbookqueen.com. For her books, you can go to AngelaTreatLyonBooks.com. On Facebook, she's Angela Treat Lyon Art. And on Twitter, she's at Angela Treat Lyon. And all the resources can be found on our show notes page, yourcreativepush.com/Angela Treat Lyon. I've said your name about 10 times now. Angela, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Wow. What a treat. Sorry, Angela. That was such a good conversation, and I really connected with everything that she said. And I know that this idea of source might throw some people off, but I completely agree with this idea. Call it what you want, the universe or source or whatever your word for it is. I really do feel like it's something that you tap into, something that comes from something else. Almost everything good that I've created, that I've done, I feel like came from something else. Like, I'll look back at it and be like, where did that come from? Like, who wrote that? Who did that? A lot of people that I've talked to have said similar things, that it kind of comes from somewhere else. So I definitely resonated with that idea of, kind of tapping into that thing, whether it's within you or outside of you, and just going with it. And I also really love this idea of nervousness just being excitement. There's like the nervous energy that you have before the thing, then there's the point of creation where you make it, and then there's the excitement afterwards. And the excitement can seep through to both sides, and the nervousness as well. So just really great stuff, and I hope that it resonated with you and inspired you. I just want to reach out to DOS Mode for giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. He said, "This definitely fills a void for those creative types and does a great job in motivating you to stay on task. Easy to listen to and follow. Looking forward to what comes ahead." Thank you so much for that kind review. You are entered into our contest for leaving us a review. yourcreativepush.com/contest. You have a chance to win $100. So that drawing is in a couple weeks and more details to follow. For everyone else, be sure to go on to iTunes and leave us a nice review after you subscribe. I will appreciate it so much that I will say your name on the air, just like DOS Mode. On tomorrow's show, we have Richard Gaston.
As long as you're doing something that you really like, it's going to happen eventually.
Richard is an amazing photographer from Scotland. I love my conversation with him, and his Instagram inspires me so much. Beautiful landscapes, beautiful photography. Check it out. And that's tomorrow, but hopefully today we were able to inspire you to go ahead and do work, and we will be here for you tomorrow if you need some more inspiration. But for today, go get the work done. Just go do it. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you tomorrow.